Thank you.
You see, when you're dealing with broadcasters and you're doing a production, then the director says cut. Whether your mic is working or not, the decision has been given. And I suspected that had been said. Anyway, I spoke earlier this morning about the entire getting the guardrails and the trust algorithm. And I would like to highlight just the same things I spoke about. We must humanize artificial intelligence. Those of you who interact with the social world or religious world, you notice that Pope Leo released an encyclical yesterday, and he warned against overutilization of AI to the level that it loses its human face. I spoke this morning about the ethics. So this ethics is what humanizes AI. Eventually, we must be able to see who did what. If you look about authenticity, and we're here talking about the trust algorithm, you realize that all algorithms are biased. If you notice, those who work in whatever context, that if you put certain type of messaging that big tech doesn't want, we no longer have to shut you down. It's that your tweet will not come up. It's just that the message you put gets pushed down and all that. And those who walk around Kenya know that there are people whose messages you can't see. I think if you reflect about, off my mind immediately goes people like Miguna and other people. Several people really who had certain messages we never liked. They were never blocked. If you look for them, you will find them, isn't it? But you can't log onto your social media page and find those people, isn't it? So now then, unlike in the broader regulatory space where you switch off the frequency and all that, the problem of the AI and the algorithm is that the person enforcing regulatory standards can be completely faceless. And they can do it in such a way that you can't hold them accountable. So that now the word algorithm can be used to remove accountability. Because if you realize that even the algorithm acts as instructed, but if you have to go switch off a frequency, then we have humans who drive there and do something. So that lack of authenticity and totally dehumanizing regulation is a risky thing. Because you realize that while people in media space and democracy say that you should allow the freedom of expression, freedom of the media, and all that, the whole idea is that you must humanize that and make sure that regulation is limited yet predictable and can be owned. When we have owners of big tech, first of all, ensuring that they have no office in certain countries, yet they have millions of followers. It's like saying I have a media house that has 10 million viewers or listeners, and there is no physical location in that country. So if you want to talk to us, you can send an email to public standards and all that. And then our team will review it. We will get back to you as soonest possible, ideally within 45 days. If you had disinformation or incitement violence taking place on a platform, and there is a team of faceless people regulating that, are you seeing the risk you're doing it? And excuse me. This is because you have removed the human in the algorithm. We know they exist. You have therefore run away from accountability. You realize that also generative AI, what we use to generate content, is more like, for those who are parents, we have an age you call kids the terrible two. Mothers, you know that, isn't it? You have a toddler around with absolute 200% confidence, arguing with anyone and touching anything. You can't tell them, don't touch that and all that, and they don't agree that they can make a mistake. That's what this algorithm does, because rarely will AI tell you they do not know that, unless you feed them in a 600-page document and you look for information on page 596 there, then they can tell you that is too much. But otherwise, AI has an answer to everyone, just like the 2-year-old toddler. So this generative AI is something that can do so much you do not understand. It does not understand it either, and it can cause harm. And I think now as broadcasters, sometimes you look at an event like this. I know we spoke a while ago with a few guys and saying, what do you think about the lighting and the voice and all that? That would be the fear of the initial broadcaster and content producer, isn't it? Now the biggest fear is that a real human being or an AI generated? Is this the real voice, or someone? Because if you watch something on screen, you can do that, and especially generative AI that just studies what you do and proceeds. So that is the other big risk you want to do. And then the other item is job losses. Of course, we keep saying that AI, if your job does not need much intelligence nowadays, AI will not take it away, because it's about artificial intelligence. But I think it's mostly augmented intelligence. The last time I was required to do remarks in an African event, and I wasn't sure that I will get a flight to go there because of the Strait of Hormuz. If it is true or false, AI asked me, we can also do a video of you. If you watch it and agree, we can send them to organizers to play it. That means that if you have already prepared remarks, just give us the remarks, okay? We will get a good background, give us a photo of you, we can get a voice of you, and we will prepare, video remarks and send to the organizers. Give them 5 minutes or 4 minutes, isn't it? What does that mean? That even if we are defending that AI will not take away jobs, it gets very scary when it says, you don't worry, you have prepared your speech, yes, please feed it here, give us a good photo of yourself, and let us get 45 seconds of your voice. Tell us the background you want, we will prepare the remarks, and email the organizers with instructions about how to put it and all that, and tell us what you think. You see the possibility of losing a job? So it's possible to have a bunch of the speakers here, including myself, could easily have told me, you don't seem like you want to go down to Ole Sereni today. Do you want to record a message like your chairman? You saw my chairman, but he was away in another international commitment. So there are those job losses. Until then, you guard those that you are not going to give AI to do everything. Somewhere, whether we like it or not, we are going to have certain job losses, because a job that needed 15 people to do will be done by 3. All of us have agreed now that the mobile phone in your hands has replaced at least 9 people. It has replaced the camera person, or 9 gadgets: the calculator, the TV, the torch, the notebook for carrying, the diary for noting your items. It has not actually more than 9, isn't it? So some way, there are a few people who are going to be jobless. Maybe the manufacturers of calculators will not have a market. They called Casio, isn't it? The manufacturers of watches, because you have time here, and I noticed something else, that the people who wear antique and expensive watches don't know how to keep time. So the manufacturer of watches have disappeared. The diary, I see a lot of people come to our offices as part of branding. I know we have many here, and they do a diary for a year and all that, isn't it? At least the paper diary does not remind you. So if you contextualize that some way, either intended or unintended, somewhere there will be job losses or there will be streamlining, isn't it? So that even a standard newsroom, as Madam Agnes Kaleche here will tell us, the managing director of KBC, Kenya's, is it oldest broadcaster or leading broadcaster? Whichever you choose. A while ago, to do a live production, she will need about 4 vehicles. There will be the live van, which will be a 26-wheeler, with a generator at the back, isn't it? And 26 technical crew, isn't it? And an 18 staff generator, 18 kVA generator, and there will be another van to carry the staff and the editing suit and all that, isn't it? And one that will carry water for them and all that. Now you need a backpack. So whether you like it or not, at least in the very least, the driver of the 26-wheeler has lost his job. So somewhere there will be job losses as you move to augment this AI. And so the people who are not well prepared and aligning to fit into the AI time, somewhere they will not lose job, but they will feel out of place. Financial analysis, those who into analysis know that. But I think we have a major opportunity coming in as broadcasters, and that is, I will call it at the point of just augmenting and all that. We are having a lot of content producers breaking down into different pieces and all that. If you go, those who come from rural Africa, and I know there is a bit of developed world, if you were in a family that kept dairy cows or had farm produce, you would give your 5 liters of milk to the local cooperative, the creamery company. They will collect that little milk every day. It goes into the big factory and all that. And at the end of the month, your input into the big contribution will be calculated and sent back to you, isn't it? When big tech wants, by using AI, they are able to calculate your input into their social media platforms and pay you, isn't it? $20 here and $200,000 here, isn't it? The problem we have is that if and when they want. If we find a way of making sure that they do it if they want it or not, then we will have made sure that there are lesser job losses. And even when you dispatch an entire production crew of 26 and they start doing stuff in groups of 2 or 3, that big cake can be distributed so that we can have AI for good. So that AI has just not only rendered people jobless, it has dispatched their content and monetization schedules. So once again, I invite you to reflect and see how the different pieces, there's about the cooperative spirit of Africa. It is now they call it co-working spirit in different places, and all that can make sure that the big broadcasters get their cake, but there is a transparent mechanism to distribute to the individual content producers. So all the best, and don't listen to speeches too much. Make sure you utilize the dancers and the singers a bit, because whether you utilize them or not, APB will pay them the same amount. So make sure you utilize them. Every few speakers, a little dance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A round of applause for Mr. David Omoyo from the Media Council of Kenya. May I now take this opportunity to invite Victoria Shakokina, producer at RT Africa, to also come and talk to us about Africa at the age of the multipolar world. And there's a question being posed there: how journalism can help to understand each other. How can journalism help us to understand each other? Over to you. Asante sana.
Asante, nashukuru. Naomba kuweka presentation yangu kwenye screen. So, good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends and partners. I'm supposed to speak English today, but let me at first tell a couple of words in Swahili. Hamjambo? Nafurahi sana kwamba sio mimi tu ambaye anasema Kiswahili hapa. But let me introduce myself once again. My name is Victoria, and today I represent RT International channel, especially RT Africa, as a producer. And the topic that I'm going to speak about is becoming increasingly important for all of us. And you can see it on the screen. Africa at the age of a multipolar world, and how journalism helps us understand each other. But before speaking about the future, let me tell a couple of words about RT Africa and to introduce the channel. Next slide, please. Unfortunately, the clicker isn't working. Yeah. So, RT channel is an international television network available for more than 900 million people around the world from more than 100 countries. And for now, it is available in... Thank you. And for now, it is... sorry, yeah? Is it working? Yeah. Now RT is available in 12 languages, and we are going not to stop on it. As you can see on other slide, please let's move forward. RT has already received a lot of awards and nominations. Please move the screen. At major international awards, and RT Africa has become as a part of a global vision of our channel. So now we have expanded our cooperation with African media outlets, and already more than 80 African broadcasters show our content, and about 8 correspondent bureaus are based across Africa. Please, here you can see the awards that we have already received in African continent, because we have already been a part of some old events in Africa. If we shift back to the topic of our conversation, I'd like to tell you once again that our world is really becoming multiple now, and these kinds of international events can prove that event in one part of the world can easily influence another one. And our experience in international broadcasting has convinced us that it's really true. We deeply share the point that in modern world, it's very important to keep all together and to move forward as a multiple world. And it seems to be that it's the right moment for journalism to go back to its main mission, that is make bridges, build bridges among the countries. And sharing deeply this point, in December 2022, RT has become one of the main organizers of a new media event that is called African Media Award. And please let me show how it was. I ask to put on next video.
The winner.
So as far as you can see, it was really a huge event, and this experience has proved once again that we live in a multipolar world, which is very important to meet all together and to make bridges among the countries. So let me move forward and let's think it over. Multipolar world, what does this collocation mean for media? To say true, for decades, the global information space was dominated by a relatively small amount of media centers. But for now, the situation is really changing. And it is rather obvious that it is the right moment for the local voices to become stronger. And in RT, we really believe that it's very important to keep in mind that the languages matter deeply. That's why in RT we decided to make languages one of the central part of our strategy. And we started to translate our content, especially our African shows, to African languages. And Swahili was chosen as one of the first, as the first language. Then we moved forward and chose Amharic, and we are going to expand our coverage. So please look at the screen, and let's see next promo, which is highlighting the results briefly. I'm very sorry. I have missed this part of my of my speech, but let me say a couple of words. We also believe that it is very important at the moment to provide the audience with the right for choice. So we are really trying to do our best in doing it, even when producing exclusive interviews. So please let's look next promo, and it will show that we have already started our translating and making voiceover to Swahili and Amharic. Please put on the next.
የነጻነት ትግሉ ባንዲራ መስቀል ብቻ አልነበረም።
Tunakaribia siku ambayo Afrika itastawi na masharti yake yenyewe,
ambapo kila taifa linasikika na kila mtu anapata nafasi ya kusitawi.
ትብብር እና አንድነት ወደፊት እንድንሄድ በራስ መተማመን ይሰጠናል።
That's it. So all the shows that I'm going to present now are available in Swahili and Amharic. And let me start with the first one that is called Africa Within. Don't you agree that when audience see real individuals, real stories, real families and communities, they are more connected with the content? So that's why we approach to storytelling through personal human stories. And let's look one of them that is called Matatu Story. It's in Swahili language and it shows ordinary life of a Kenyan bus driver. Please put it on.
Udereva matri ni job, kama job ya ofisi, ni kama job ya, ni kama HR. Mimi nilianza kama konkodi, nimepiga konkodi miaka kama 3. Nikiwa konkodi nikajipeleka shule, ndio sasa nikaingia kwa industry, nikarudi kupeleka matatu sasa. Dereva tupe volume bwana, tupatie tuchache. Ukisikia mtu na matatu unaona kama wewe uko na roho mbaya. Mimi siwezi tetea mtu juu unapata kuna wenyewe hawezi fanya kitu kenye mimi ni do. Juu unapata sasa.
Thank you. Next show called Lumumba's Africa is hosted by Professor Lumumba, and he speaks about the realities of modern Africa, but through the prism of rich historical African heritage, and it seems to be very important at this moment. Please look how he does it. Next slide, please.
What is the state of the continent of Africa? How shall we interact with the rest of the world? Are we going to relate with the world in terms of donations or in terms of trade? Africa must define what she wants politically. Africa must define herself culturally. Africa must define herself spiritually, because Africa has no choice but to move forward, and forward she will move.
And the last show that I'm going to present is called African Legacy. Julius Nyerere, Nelson Mandela, Kweche Kaunda, Kwame Nkrumah, all these leaders are really outstanding, and their descendants provide us with an accurate understanding of African present and future through the prism of its past shaped by their famous ancestors. Please have a look. And the last thing that I'd like to tell that In Swahili, there is such a proverb, elimu ni bahari, that means education is like an ocean. And our special project, RT Academy, proves that the value and the will for education has really got no borders, no geographical borders. And we think that our RT Academy project provides all the journalists to have such a chance to build the bridges among the countries and among the nations. And the nearest workshop will take place in Kampala on the 12th of June, and in Dar es Salaam on the 16th of June. Here you can see the QR codes. You may even take the picture of them and share with your staff and with your colleagues. The registration is still open, though it's going to be closed very soon because we have already received too much submissions. So to sum up, I'd like to say once again that in RT, we not just only inform and report. Our aim is to connect people, to build trust, and to encourage the dialogue. So let's move forward. Thank you very much for your attention.
A round of applause. Africa must define herself politically and move forward. Thank you, Victoria Shatokina, producer RT Africa, on the highlights of Africa at the age of multipolar world, how journalism helps us to understand each other. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to call on Dr. Christopher Hisse, lecturer, Daystar University, to take us through the first panel. Welcome, Daktari. A round of applause. Daktari is together with Mary Lusiba, Head of Partnerships Africa, BBC World Service. Welcome, Madam Lusiba. A round of applause. Also on this, we have the Head of Broadcasting, Nation Media Group Kenya, Simaloi Dejom. Welcome to the podium. A round of applause. We also have the presence of Mary Deraja, Radio Manager, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. A round of applause. Over to you, Daktari.
Good afternoon. Like my colleague has said, my name is Christopher Hisse. We are here at the 5th Broadcasters Convention, first one to be held in Kenya. And the ladies who are seated here are broadcasters and dealing with broadcasting. And we just want to look at what has brought us here. We were in the analog in terms of broadcasting. We have been in digital. Now we are moving to AI. How are we going to manage and navigate? As most of you are aware, today's audience is not the yesteryear's audience in terms of the content creation. So I would like us to hear from the people who are dealing with today's content consumers. People we have to go look at, not appointment media. So I would like to invite Simaloi Dajon to kick us off in terms of how is she managing creation, production, and finding this elusive audience. Welcome, Simaloi.
Thank you, Daktari, and it's a pleasure to join you here. First, thank you to the organizers. Bringing together broadcasters is not an easy task, and especially from the region. So as you have heard, my name is Simaloi Dejom, the head of broadcasting at Nation Media Group. And part of my responsibility is just to ensure that our content actually speaks and reaches our audiences wherever they are. So if you've had a chance to watch NTV, that's one of our products. If you've engaged with Fixing the Nation, Nation FM, and the digital extensions thereof. It is not possible, in my view, to separate the digital transformation from broadcasting. I don't think they're one or the other, because when we talk about linear broadcasting, we are only talking about a channel of conveying the message. And that channel has changed over the years. At some point, it was AM. At another point, and Madam Agnes from KBC would still have a couple of them. She would relate very well with the AM broadcasting, but that's what we grew up listening to. And then there was the explosion of the FM, the frequency modulated, the frequency modulation. And with the FM, you had a level of proliferation of media stations, but the quality went up as well, and they were able to reach a wider audience. Now we are talking about digital distribution, and we're talking about social media. So we went into social media first as an experiment. And I remember media houses were very reluctant to adopt even getting their content into social media. And now we are at AI. So I think the transformation has been rapid. One thing that has stood out is most media houses have been caught flat-footed. Genuinely, they have been reactive rather than proactive. So from a stakeholder's perspective, how do we lead this transformation rather than be reactive and sort of be proactive? How we have coped with it across, not just as Nation Media Group, previously at Royal Media, at Citizen, and now at Nation Media Group. The first thing is ensuring that all our content is available across platforms. And if I can use one example of Fixing the Nation, when we launched Fixing the Nation, it was the first 360 available content in the country. Meaning, for the first time, you could watch a show on TV. At the same time, you could stream it on your phone on any digital platform. And at the exact same time, you can also listen to it on radio. So we had to break the platform barrier. So that is just one way, looking at digital media and the AI revolution as an opportunity rather than as a barrier.
Mary, maybe you could tell us a little bit of, we have to use AI responsibly. Let us not use AI to do our work, but let us use AI to enhance our creativity in our production. Could you just shed some light regarding how you are navigating through that at KBC?
Thank you very much. And I would like also to thank the organizers of this conference for putting together this great meeting for us to just look at how technology is shaping the way we behave and the way we interact, even as journalists. You've put a specific question to me. I work for Nyumba Kubwa, Baba na Mama, the mother of broadcasting in Kenya. I must emphasize that. All these media houses in Kenya are our children, and we still supply them with staff. We train and then give them the best. So clap for us. Okay, now how are we navigating technology, specifically AI, in the current situation? As she pointed out, technology is locating us. We've not located technology, but it's been locating us. Were we prepared for it? Yes and no. During the migration to digital, that was an indicator that more was going to come. But when I look at technology and AI tools specifically, I do not see a threat. I see a partner. AI is here to assist us in every aspect. And in the aspect of us journalists, AI is here to support us, reduce the time we use in creating content. But we must use it responsibly. Why do I say that? We should stop the lazy approach, whereby you run to AI, you input something, and get it without going through it and you just put it to use, it will mislead you. As one speaker said earlier, what you ask determines what you get. So if you input the wrong question, then it gives you trash, and you run with that trash. AI is not here to dictate to us. We dictate to it. We are the dictators. We are humans. AI tools are machines. And if we have nothing for it to collect, then it will collect nothing. So human creativity remains. Yes, AI has ensured that we reach places we could not reach in a conventional manner, but now we can reach more audience. We can interact easily. We can put together programs very quickly. We can edit very quickly. I'm from that school of editing by cutting. You would go, collect material, come, put together. You edit by cutting, literal cutting. I know some of you who are younger than me are wondering, cutting, how do you cut? We were cutting tapes and connecting them for us to put that which you had on air. And you could never notice that we cut that tape. So AI has made things easier for us, but we have to look at how we regulate that AI, how we use it. We must come up as media organizations, different media organizations, we must put in place guidelines on how to use AI. And also, policies that the country puts in place will enable us to protect the future and protect future jobs. AI is not a threat, but the way we navigate by putting in place policies and guidelines, that is the threat. If we have to safeguard the future, then we have to look at what was the intention of the people who developed AI and other digital platforms. We need to study that. For the lecturers who are here, for those of you who are in class at the moment, I am not in class at the moment, then we need to look at that, and that will guide us in preparing for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. A clap for her. True to heart what he said. I also worked at KBC for a very long time, so I'm a proud KBC, former KBC employee. Mary Siba from BBC. There's a lot that people are fearing, that we are likely to get a lot of fake news. We are likely to be misled by AI. Maybe how are you navigating at BBC regarding the use of AI and human interventions?
Good morning. Trust you're all well. I would like to thank the organizers for this event. I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Mary Luciba, and I head partnerships for the BBC World Service. So what that means is that I lead the distribution of our content online, on radio, and on television, on direct and indirect platforms. So we are chasing these audiences because we want to deliver news to where they are. When we look at fake news as the BBC, we see it as an opportunity because there are a lot of young people publishing stories. There are a lot of platforms that are misleading audiences. So what we aim to do is establish our presence. We're known as an organization that people come to verify news. And in this space where I was telling my colleagues, it's a little bit like the Wild West. Anything goes, you know, and we have audiences listening to somebody who has no journalistic background, talking about political issues, presenting their opinion. It is our place as broadcasters to ensure that we are present in those forums, so that when audiences are exposed to these platforms or these influencers, they can come back to us and verify the story. So fake news for us is an opportunity to create a difference and be present. When it comes to AI and its application in the media houses, we adopt a human in the loop approach. We will use AI, but at the end of the day, it is an editor who signs off the material that is published. We do not leave it to AI. AI is like an intern. You would never let an intern produce content and you go ahead and broadcast it. You'll always stop, review, cross-check, and only then, after you've made amendments, do you then broadcast it, publish it online, you know? We are also an organization that does not allow AI to just canvas and take our content and use it for their large learning models. I'd like broadcasters to know that your content is your jewel. They should not come and scrape your content and use it, you know, for their applications. We need to have contracts in place. We need to make sure that our content is being surfaced in the right environment and is being quoted correctly. So those are one of the things that at the BBC we do. We do not allow for scraping of our content. Another thing is that we are radically transparent. When we use AI, we tell our audiences this is AI. Trust is very tough to break, yeah? But it's very easy to lose, and AI will accelerate that. So we need to make sure that we are transparent when we use AI. We need to tell our audiences this image is AI generated. Yeah, this voiceover is synthetic, so that they know and can trust what we're dispensing.
Yes, a minute each to just give us a conclusion of what we are looking at. Simaloi, could you just maybe tell us, because there's a lot of fear that social media, with the nonsense that's going on social media, how are we bringing sense out of what we are hearing in social media regarding every media house that now has converged media and has formal social media newsroom? Could you just tell us how you are making this possible with modernity?
All right, thank you. Before I answer that, I would like to validate what Mary has said, because that is actually a similar approach. The Nation Media Group takes a similar approach, and we have actually launched an AI guideline and policy that underlines the human in the loop, that the human being is central to every decision. There's no way you can say that an AI passed this or an AI, the machine published this. And regarding social media, as I said, newsrooms had been at a catch-up game, but now there's an intentional shift in mindset in seeing the social media space as an opportunity rather than a threat. And one of the ways is we're developing content like explainers, for instance, where you can have a story. One of the stories that is doing very well, for instance, on our TikTok, that enabled us to reach the 1 million milestone yesterday. The story was a repurposed story from the newspaper, but we had a digital reporter sit and repurpose that content for the digital audience as an explainer, put it out there, and the content just went wild. So it also breaks the myths that young people are not interested in news. It breaks the myth that young people are not interested in current affairs. The question is, are we serving young people the content they want, in the format they want, in the platforms that they want? So explainers is a critical thing. The other thing is just breaking those barriers, ensuring that the young people are live anyway. And if I can use an example of Fixing the Nation again, when launching Fixing the Nation, we needed it to be live on TikTok, but could not figure out how, because broadcasters, how the broadcast signal works was not engineered for social media. So we had a very difficult time. If you've ever been live on TikTok, you would realize that the phone needs to be forward facing for the signal to go through. Now, create that picture when you're going live on TV. Do you have a stand that's holding the phone? So we had to re-engineer our distribution. So I think it is just having that continuous mindset of testing and iterating and developing intentional newsrooms. So currently we have a digital content vertical within broadcasting. We have a digital newsroom within the newsroom, and we have a digital revenue generation arm. So digital is not a side business, it is a central pillar to our strategy. Thank you.
Mary, KBC has the biggest music library in this region. How are you protecting our audience from the real original music and AI-produced music?
Thank you. And before I respond to that, I would like to say something about social media and fake news. AI generates a lot of news, and which is flooded on our social media pages. But how do you now then make sure that as legacy media, we are able to debunk the fake news and have the authentic news or the real news out there? So what we do is that first, as legacy media, we verify the news that we put out there, because all legacy media here, and that includes KBC, Mama and Baba, our social media platforms for all our radio stations and our 2 TV channels at KBC, they are always active. And we ensure that what we post on social media is authentic news, verifiable. So for legacy media to remain relevant, what we need to do is to ensure that we don't run. And nowadays, I don't believe in breaking news. We don't rush to break the news until we verify. We ensure that which has been generated by AI, because nowadays I see AI putting words into politicians' mouth. And if you pick that as it is, then you land into problems. So legacy media, what we do is that to ensure that we confirm that information and see whether it is verifiable, it happened, that incident, or it did not happen. Then going back to your question about our reach and the digital media. As the biggest media in the country, that is broadcast media in the country, we have a responsibility also being a public service broadcaster, ensuring that we remain a trusted media organization. So what we put out there on our social media platform has to be corroborated with what we broadcast on our radios and what we broadcast on our television. Just to ensure that we remain relevant, we break down our information that we put out there on TV and on radio. We break down that into smaller, friendly clips that we put on social media. We can break it into a series. We put on social media so that we tell the story as is and in the right manner, without sensationalizing, without going against the journalistic ethics. Because at the moment, in this era of AI, we are being faced by the challenge of ethical journalism. So we rush, we post, we have not verified, and then we realize that we've done the wrong thing. We are now running here and there to try and mark maybe the content as fake. But another challenge that we have in conclusion is that media houses are putting out there on the social media platforms, they're putting there the right news or the right content, but then AI pulls it out and manipulates that. So the question is, how do we navigate that? Let me end there, but the power is in the hands of journalists. The power is in our hands, not in technology.
Thank you very much. I think to close our session, I would like Mary Lucibat just to tell us a little bit on monetization. As you distribute content from BBC, how are you encouraging young people, young talent, to monetize what they're producing? In just 1 minute.
So when it comes to monetization, what we found is Africans do not want to pay for content, right? So it's an advertising-driven model that would be put into consideration. So what would I tell the young people is that you need to build your audiences so that you can define who you're talking to, and then that would lead to corporate companies coming to want to advertise with you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's Mary Lucibat from BBC Partnerships, and Simlai Dajon, Head of Broadcasting, Nation Media, and Mary Daraja, Head of Radio Programming at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. And my name is Christopher Hissa. Thank you very much for listening to us, and let's continue engaging at this convention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for that panel. Thank you very much, Daktari. That was a good job. For those of you who don't know, Daktari also is a mediator, and I whispered to him earlier on how he can help to resolve that conflict between newsroom and production, and he promises to take that up. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I now take this opportunity to invite our next speaker. The topic that she will handle is next level broadcasting, efficiency, scale, and reliability in the cloud. So it is my distinguished honor to invite the Managing Director of Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, Agnes Kaleche Guna. A round of applause.
So good afternoon again, fellow broadcasters. I want to start with a simple truth. KBC, I know today I'm speaking about OTT, but KBC has not launched an OTT platform. Not one paid subscriber, not even one revenue stream, not yet. And I'm not ashamed to say that, but I would be ashamed if I stood here and pretended otherwise. Because if we are going to talk about the future of broadcasting, over the top, OTT business models, cloud efficiency, monetization, we have to be honest where we actually are, not where we wish we were. So why am I, CEO of a public broadcaster without an OTT, standing here talking about this? Because at KBC, we have been watching and we've been learning, and we believe, honestly, is the beginning of real progress. So let me first tell you what we are doing at KBC. Because even without OTT, we are not sitting still. We have Signet, our digital distribution platform. Through Signet, we have strengthened signal coverage across the country.
Today, Signet supports over 70 television and radio stations through more than our 40 transmission sites nationwide. But what does this mean in simple language? It means a community station in Kisii or Mandera does not have to build their own expensive mast. They can focus on their content. We help them reach the people. We are also working with Communication Authority of Kenya on DAB, digital audio broadcasting. This will help frequency congestion in cities like Nairobi and Mombasa. It will also create room for more broadcasters, more voices, meaning more diversity. So yes, we are moving, not just in the direction everyone expects. Now let me talk about what I've been watching across Africa and beyond, because I study what our brothers and sisters are doing, across Africa. In Kenya, Nation Media Group and Royal Media Services, they took bold steps in digital streaming. Some things work, some didn't, but they moved. And that takes courage, and I respect that. And I think we need to clap for them because that is brave. That's really brave, Simaloy. In Nigeria, Iroko TV and Africa Magic showed us local stories, our stories can build massive audiences, not by copying Hollywood, by being unapologetically African. In South Africa, MultiChoice, our partners, and Showmax proved that hybrid models work. Though it struggled, linear TV and OTT together, not fighting each other. Another good example is YouTube. One foot in the old world and one foot in the new. Even global players like Netflix and Disney Plus have taught us something. When we package our stories with quality and care, the world watches. So what are the emerging models that give me hope? Let me name them simply. Freemium, free content for everyone. Pay a little or for no ads. Early access, exclusive shows. Bundles, put news, entertainment, education, and local drama in one place. One click. Hybrid advertising. Keep your traditional ads. Add targeted digital ads that respect privacy. I think brands pay more when they know who's watching. Co-production across borders, share costs, share audiences. A drama shot in Nairobi, edited in Lagos, streamed in Uganda. And cloud, not because it's fashionable, because it's freedom. Let me pause on cloud. Cloud is freedom. From power outages that is killing your live broadcasts. Cloud is freedom. To reach a young person in Turkana and a family in Europe with the same quality. Cloud, again, is freedom. To archive old content, to bring it back to life without building expensive new studios. At KBC, we are already using cloud-based tools in small but meaningful ways. For example, we are exploring how AI can help us with automating simple workflows. So our journalists can spend, less time on repetitive tasks and more time on real reporting, smarter audience insights, understanding what people actually want to watch, not just guessing, fact-checking that Mary talked about, and verification, because misinformation is rising and trust is everything. We are also working on AI-powered translation. A story created in Kenya should be able to reach audiences in Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and beyond without needing a whole new production team. But here's my honest caveat. For AI to truly serve Africa, it must reflect African realities, languages, culture. We cannot just consume technology made elsewhere. We must participate in building it, training it, and owning solutions that work for us. And that's not a technical statement, that is a dignity statement. Now, let me talk about something that speech often leaves out. That this transition is very hard. It's brutal on our people. Many of our talented journalists, I'm sure most of them are in this room, producers, technicians, they grew up in the analog world. They worry about their jobs. They worry that digital transformation means they will be left behind. And most importantly, communities worry. They worry that free-to-air public service broadcasting, the kind that informs, educates, and entertains, unites us, will disappear. And those fears are real. and we cannot ignore them. At KBC, we are moving deliberately, not fast, but responsibly. We are investing in our people through training and capacity building. We are strengthening our digital presence step by step. We are preparing grounds for OTT, offering that reflects Kenya and even East African values, not just copy what works in London or elsewhere. Because the future of broadcasting is digital and data-driven, it must also remain deeply human and locally rooted. Let me also talk about regional collaboration, because none of us will succeed alone. Now, as East Africa, earlier I talked about, co-hosting the 2027 African Cup of Nations. We have a huge opportunity, joint investment in transmission infrastructure, shared production resources, collaborative coverage that delivers value not only to audiences in our borders, but also to the Africa diaspora globally. At KBC, we remain proud of our partnership with broadcasters across the region. This partnership affirms a simple truth. African story becomes stronger when we all tell it together. So here's my humble request to you, my fellow broadcasters. Do not compete only for eyeball. Collaborate to grow the whole industry. Share what has worked for you. Share what has failed. Let the success of one become the success of all. The future of African broadcasting is not traditional or digital. It is both cloud-powered, audience-first, and honest about our struggles. KBC may not be the fastest or the flashiest, but we intend to be among the most responsible. We are not preparing for the future. We are already living in it. The decision we make today will determine whether Africa leads the next era of broadcasting or merely follows. I remain optimistic. If we invest in our infrastructure, invest in our people, and strengthen collaboration, Africa will not simply adapt to change. Africa will help shape it. Thank you. Let us build something real.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for the Managing Director at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, Agnes Kaleche, really laying a lot of emphasis on let's build collaborations rather than competing. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I now take this opportunity to invite Brahim Jelasi, the sales manager at Laho, to also come and make his presentation. I know we are trying to recoup some time, and I want to thank the previous speakers for really being sensitive to the time element. So, Brahim Jelasi is in the room. Brahim Jelasi? There he is. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes and joins us on the podium. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be at the convention. I look forward for a fruitful exchange with the broadcast experts present with us here in the next couple of days. Today I prepared a high-level presentation on the latest development in the broadcast industry, technology-wise, and what it meant for us as a solution provider in our offering. I'm Brahim. I'm the sales manager for Lavo. I specialize in the African market. And a question to the room. Who heard the name Lavo before? Show of hands. Okay. Seems that we are foreigner to most of the people in the room. We're actually a German technology provider. We've been in business for the last 60 years. We come from audio engineering background, and we've added video and orchestration into our portfolio in the last 2 decades. We have a clear focus on the IP solutions, and that's something since 2008, where we helped develop the Ravenna protocol, which is an audio over IP standard that is used from smaller to larger productions across the globe. So I want to start with some observation. Being on the road, doing consultancy with customers in the 4 corners of the globe, what we've seen is a small transition from SDI to IP, mainly 2110 NDI SRT. And the numbers from Caretta Research is backing this up. They've done a study in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. We estimate roughly that there is 28% of the customers who actually made the jump to IP, whether it's audio or video. And the main question that we've been getting is, how could we have a scalable and a flexible production? With the IP technology, it can happen gradually. This means replacing the legacy infrastructure in place, scale it with software-defined, whether it's on FPGA or on IT solutions, and then reach the distributed goal. Now, the DMF is something that is recommended by the EBU. This means shared resources between different manufacturers. We're still not there, but it is something on the horizon. And there is no secret that also we've been noticing is the growth of multi-platform content delivery. Linear TV by itself is not the only way to consume content. We see that OTT is on the rise, social media, etc. So let's examine why customers are steering away from traditional workflow. It's actually realizing the limitation when it comes to traditional operations. It looks something like this: audio and video inputs. Everything is centralized around one matrix that is mainly hardware, and in order to scale it, you would need more hardware purchases. Think about an election that you have maybe next year, the year after. To ramp up production, you would need more hardware purchases. With a software-defined solution, this can be, let's say, tackled differently, because the reality is the hardware that is purchased is not going to be used until the next election or until the next big event that will take place. This is one of the challenges that we've been hearing. The reality is also that a lot of manufacturers with legacy product are announcing end of production. They're kind of now jumping on the IP, let's say, wave. That leaves customers with 3 to 5 years to support their infrastructure in place. With the IP solutions, the first step is, as I mentioned in the first slide, is to change the routing aspect. We go from an SDI hub, where everything is centralized, to the network doing the distribution. And with this, you can have contribution from different locations. You can have your talent sitting anywhere in the world. And technology like WebRTC or NDI can replace the expensive satellite. Think about cutting cost, having a flexible production pipeline. Now, the reality is going from legacy workflow into IP brings a lot of challenges, mainly for operation engineers. There's a learning curve. There's a lot of manual tasks initially. And there is a new way of solving for issues. Before it was cable to cable, now we're talking about network. It's more of, let's say, new skill sets to be learned. And also the cybersecurity is very important. Now that everything is packetized on the internet, the question is, how can we protect the information that is available out there? Because think about a recording device that can access your platform and access premium content that you intend to push on your OTT platform later on. And with this, I want to go back in time. At Lavo, since 2018, we had a task force to solve exactly for these points. And with this, we came with the idea of the home platform. Think about it as an IP signal platform that allows you to have visibility across your infrastructure, whether it's Lavo product, non-Lavo product via NMOS. Apologies. We'll go back. Slides. So it allows you also to discover the third-party equipment via NMOS. And with this, you can have a full visibility. To tackle the cybersecurity, we made sure that every equipment that is connected to the network is put into quarantine and then admitted by the operator or the engineer safely. And to tackle the repetitive manual tasks, we made sure that every information that is populated on the network goes into home, so your engineers don't need to populate everything manually, and we solved for the repetitive tasks. Now, we've heard the cloud a lot. We made sure we gave the customers the choice whether they can host it in the cloud or they're in their data center on a regular server. Now, we also have a product manager who made sure that the user-friendly is as friendly as possible with a fewer number of clicks. And also to solve for the interoperability issue, we made sure that it's an open API, meaning that you can integrate with different manufacturers, and with this, you solve for the challenge of interoperability. I'll address the application. So in our vision, we believe that broadcast application should be very simple. Think about an application, something that you have on your phone. If you need an application, you can download it. If you don't need it, you can offline it, and you can transfer it from another phone, from one phone to another. And the same idea is behind the what we call the home apps, and I'll address this later on. This is what looks like modern broadcast looks like. We separate the consoles from the processing from the console itself. Trying to go back to the previous slides. So you have really the DSP sitting in one place. The console is just for operational. You can have it in one location, or the console can be in a different city, and you can access it via VPN, etc. We still produce hardware. Of course, you'd still need the microphones and the SDI to IP gateways. To solve for the different standards, we made sure that every protocol that is used in the broadcast industry is supported within our platform home. And if you take a look back at 3 years ago, we started actually with SMPTE 2110. We added SRT, NDI, WebRTC. So really what the customer's needs are fully supported. And rest assured, if there is a new standard or new protocol, we'll be the first to include it into our platform. Now, the scalability is also something that distinguishes Home. It's not only for tier 1 customers. You can start really small with €1,000 server, or you can host Home in there, and you can scale it up dependent on your production up to AWS. Now, we talked a lot about theory, but I would like to bring user cases. We've been involved in the Euro 2024, FIFA World Cup in Qatar, and we're very privileged and honored to have our infrastructure present in the IBC in Dallas. But something really that I am proud of as the sales manager for Africa is what happened in 2025, in December, in the AFCON, where SNRT, who's the public broadcaster of Morocco, actually, for the first time in Africa, they were the one producing the images for this competition. And with this, I would
Do you know what's inside that prepackaged food? Those unhealthy ultra-processed foods high in sugar, salt, or unhealthy fats can lead to diseases.
According to the Ministry of Health, approximately 39% of all deaths in Kenya are as a result of non-communicable diseases such as obesity, diabetes, cancer, and high blood pressure. The foods and drinks we consume every day can affect our health more than we realize.
Clear information on packages about what's in our food can help us have a healthy diet. From the Food Policy Coalition Kenya.